The cold emptiness of space stretched endlessly outside the Odyssey, a human exploration vessel. Its crew of 6 had spent months navigating the uncharted sectors of the Nix-9 system, a cluster of stars and planets far beyond known human territory. Though the stars were bright and distant, something unusual appeared on their sensuza, massive object drifting near an uncharted planet. Captain Alara Voss leaned over the glowing console, her sharp eyes scanning the readings. Sensors are picking up a vessel, and it's enormous. Nothing like this has been recorded in any human database. Her voice was calm, but carried the unmistakable edge of excitement. Dr. Ravi Sethi. The ship's xenobiologist stepped closer. It looks ancient. The readings. The energy patterns don't match any technology we know. Whoever or whatever built this ship was far advanced. The crew exchanged looks. Their journey had been long and sometimes lonely, but this discovery made every moment of travel worth it. The Odyssey drifted closer, the mysterious vessel coming into view through the VIEWP. It was vast. Far larger than the Odyssey, shaped like nothing the humans had ever imagined. Its hull shimmered faintly, almost as if it were alive. Strange markings glowed across its surface, slowly moving in patterns that defied understanding. The crew felt an unspoken awe and unease. Lieutenant Myra Hoshin, the ship's engineer, touched the console lightly. The energy levels are active. Somehow, it's not dead. It's functioning, even after who knows how long. Alara nodded. We need to decide if we approach. This could be the biggest discovery in human history, or the most dangerous. Ravi smiled nervously. We didn't come all this way to turn back now, Captain. After a short discussion, they agreed to investigate. The crew prepared a small shuttle, carefully checking all systems. They strapped themselves into their seats, hearts pounding with anticipation and apprehension. The shuttle separated from the Odyssey, gliding silently through the void toward the massive ancient ship. As they drew nearer, the sheer scale became apparent. They passed huge structures, towers, and intricate patterns engraved into the hull. Some parts seemed to pulse with soft light, almost like a heartbeat. Mira whispered, "It's alive. I don't mean in a biological sense, but it's reacting to us. I can feel it." The shuttle docked with a smooth, almost invisible airlock. The crew waited for a moment, holding their breath. The airlock slowly opened with a quiet hiss, revealing a dark interior lined with faintly glowing symbols. The walls shimmered softly as if the light itself were moving across them. Captain Voss led the way. Each step they took echoed slightly, though the halls seemed larger than they should have been. Strange machinery lined the walls, and the symbols shifted slightly whenever someone looked directly at them. Dr. Sethi bent over a console, running scans. These inscriptions. I've never seen anything like it. They're not like any language on Earth or even human colonies. It might be some form of code or energy pattern. It could hold knowledge beyond our understanding. Lieutenant Jonas Kor, the navigator, frowned. Or it could be a trap. Everything about this place feels deliberate, like it's waiting for someone. Their cautious exploration led them to a vast chamber at the heart of the ship. A central console glowed brighter here, and the symbols on the walls moved faster. Almost reacting to their presence, Ilara stepped closer. Stay alert. We don't know what we're dealing with yet. Ravi reached out to touch the console. The moment his fingers made contact, the ship seemed to awaken. Lights shifted, the hum of energy grew louder, and a low vibration traveled through the floor. The holographic symbols on the walls formed a pattern, converging into a central projection that rose like a ghostly figure. The crew froze. The projection shimmered and became clearer, a humanoid form, though impossible to classify. Its face had features, yet they seemed fluid, ever-changing, as if reflecting countless beings at once. Then, a voice not spoken aloud, but felt in their minds reached them. Travelers, you have awakened the Guardian. Why do you come? The crew exchanged stunned glances. None of them spoke at first. The communication bypassed sound entirely, embedding directly into their thoughts. Ilara gathered her composure. We are explorers from a distant star. We seek knowledge and understanding. The Guardians' form shifted, and new images appeared around them: galaxies, ancient worlds, and civilizations long vanished. Few reach this place. Fewer still understand the choice before them. Are you worthy of the knowledge you seek? Jonas swallowed hard. Worthy or doomed? The Guardian did not answer directly. Instead, the walls around them pulsed. Doors they hadn't noticed before slowly opened, revealing corridors that stretched beyond human perception. Ravi whispered, "It's testing us." Or inviting us. I can't tell which. Captain Voss made her decision. We proceed. Carefully, whatever this is, we must learn what it wants from us. As the crew moved deeper into the ship, the shuttles linked to the Odyssey blinked weakly. Signals became unstable, then disappeared entirely. The Odyssey crew tried to contact them, but no message returned. Back on the Odyssey, the remaining crew stared at the empty screen, unease settling in. "They've vanished," murmured Communications Officer Lyra Dane in the ancient ship. The human crew continued, each step filled with awe and trepidation. The hallways twisted and turned in ways that seemed impossible, leading them to a chamber larger than any structure they had seen. The floor was smooth and reflective, the ceiling lost in shadows. At its center, a sphere hovered, glowing with a soft, pulsating light. Myra studied it. Energy readings off the charts. This ship, it's powered by something we can't even begin to understand. Suddenly, the sphere expanded, filling the room with a warm light. The crew felt an almost physical pressure, like the weight of the universe pressing against them. Images of distant stars and alien worlds flashed across their minds. A thought settled over them. The ship was alive, aware, watching. And it was not alone. Before anyone could react, the chamber vibrated. The walls hummed louder, the doors they came through vanished, replaced by a seamless surface. They were trapped. Alara steadied herself. "Stay calm. We'll find another way. This ship, it's testing us." "That much is clear," Ravi nodded, though fear flickered in his eyes. "Testing. Or selecting. I've read about ancient alien vessels with intelligence. If we fail, we might never leave." Myra's voice was tight. "Then we better not fail." As they gathered themselves, the ship shifted again, this time lifting slowly off the planet's orbit. Outside, the stars stretched and blurred, distant suns bending strangely around them. The humans felt a mix of exhilaration and terror. This was no ordinary derelict. They were inside a sentient vessel, ancient and alive, moving into the unknown. Alara's last thought before the corridors darkened further was simple. Whatever happens, we will face it together. We are humans, and we never give up. The chamber glowed softly, responding to her resolve. Somewhere deep within the ship, the Guardian observed, waiting to see if humanity could rise to meet the challenge it had prepared outside. The Odyssey continued to drift silently, unaware of the fate of the crew who had boarded the ancient ship, and of the adventures and trials that awaited them beyond the stars. The discovery had begun, and nothing would ever be the same again. The ancient ship moved through space silently, its vast form reflecting the distant light of stars like a jewel drifting in darkness. Inside, the human crew navigated the endless corridors, their footsteps echoing faintly on the smooth, reflective floor. Every corner they turned revealed new wonders walls that shimmered with moving patterns, rooms that seemed to stretch impossibly far, and machinery that defied their understanding. Captain Alara Voss led the way, her hand hovering near the hilt of her utility tool, not because she expected danger, but because she wanted to be ready for anything. The ship's energy pulsed through her like a quiet heartbeat, and she felt a strange connection forming between them and this alien. Intel, Eligence. Dr. Ravi Sethi examined the walls and consoles, eyes wide with curiosity. These symbols, they aren't just decorative. They're interactive. I think the ship is learning from us as we explore. Lieutenant Mirahashin shivered. It's more than that. Sometimes I feel like it's reading our thoughts, maybe even responding to them. Jonas Kor, usually calm and analytical, frowned. Then we have to be careful. If it's aware of our thoughts, it could anticipate our every move. We can't take anything for granted. The crew continued deeper, passing chambers filled with strange artifacts, floating crystals, devices that emitted soft pulses of energy, and objects that seemed to bend light around them. Each item fascinated the humans, but none could be understood immediately. At the heart of the ship, they entered a vast chamber, dominated by a glowing sphere. It hovered silently in the center, casting light that seemed to flow and ripple like liquid. As the humans approached, the sphere expanded, and the room itself seemed to breathe. A voice filled their minds again, calm and deep. "Travelers, you have entered the inner sanctum. Few were granted this. You must prove your worth to continue." Lara steadied herself. "We are ready to learn and to show our courage. Courage alone is not enough. The path ahead is a trial. Only those who act with wisdom, unity, and understanding may proceed." The walls of the chamber shifted, revealing a series of doors. Each was adorned with glowing symbols, each symbol different, each door slightly trembling as if alive. Ravi whispered, "These doors, they're not just doors. I think each one is a test, designed for different qualities. Intelligence, courage, empathy, perhaps more." Jonas looked uneasy. "Or traps. We don't know what waits behind them. One wrong choice." Ilara held up a hand. "We move together, step by step. We watch each other's backs. That's how we'll survive." The crew chose a door and entered. Immediately, the chamber changed. The walls disappeared, replaced by a landscape that resembled a distant alien world. Towering crystalline structures stretched into the sky, and strange creatures moved gracefully in the distance, though they seemed aware of the humans' presence. "Is this real?" Mira asked, her voice barely audible. "Or a projection?" Ravi scanned the air. "The atmosphere is real enough to breathe. Sensors detect no danger, but something about this feels like a simulation, like the ship is teaching us through experience." A figure approached a creature, tall and elegant, its form shifting like liquid metal, yet clearly sentient. It spoke, not with words, but through thought. "You seek knowledge. To gain it, you must understand this world without fear, without greed, without harm. Only then may you proceed." The humans hesitated. They could run, return to the previous chamber, or retreat to the shuttle. But the curiosity that had brought them here was stronger than fear. Ilara stepped forward. "We mean no harm. We wish only to learn and understand." The creature tilted its head, and the humans felt an almost physical pressure of judgment. Then it moved aside, revealing a complex puzzle made of light and energy. Symbols shifted constantly, forming patterns that seemed impossible to predict. Ravi knelt, studying the symbols. "It's like a language and a math problem combined. If we solve it, the path forward will open. If not, I don't know what will happen." Mira joined him, adding her technical expertise. "We can do this if we work together. Trust your instincts, follow the patterns, and don't let the shapes confuse you." Hours passed. Time seemed to stretch and bend inside the chamber. The crew worked as one, each member contributing their skills. Slowly, the puzzle began to respond. The symbols aligned, light flowed like water. The path forward opened with a soft hum. The creature, or perhaps the ship itself, spoke again. "You have shown intelligence and cooperation. But knowledge alone is not enough. You must also confront your fears." Suddenly, the chamber shifted. The humans were separated, each facing illusions drawn from their own memories. Ilara found herself on a battlefield, shadows of fallen comrades surrounding her. Jonas was in a dark void, with whispers of failure echoing around him. Mira faced her worst fear, being unable to save those she loved, trapped in helplessness. Ravi confronted visions of extinction, of humanity failing across the stars. Panic threatened to take them. But Ilara focused on breathing, grounding herself. "This is a test. We are humans. We face the impossible and still move forward," Jonas called out, steady despite the void. "We are together. This is not real. Focus on what we know in each other." One by one, the illusions faded. The humans realized the ship had shown them their fears not to destroy them, but to see how they responded. When the chamber returned to its original form, the glowing sphere in the center pulsed brighter. The voice returned, softer now. You have endured fear and confusion. You have acted with courage, intelligence, and unity. The path continues. The crew breathed, relief and awe mixing together. That was incredible, Ravi said, still shaking. I've never experienced anything like it. This ship, it's alive. It's teaching us, yes, but also testing us. Mira smiled, exhausted but proud, and we passed, somehow, together. Ilara looked at her crew, her heart swelling with both pride and concern. We have only just begun. The ship has shown us that we are capable of more than we imagined, but it also shows we are far from understanding it fully. We need to stay alert. The next challenge may be even greater. As they moved deeper, the corridors began to change again, walls shifting to reveal chambers filled with alien artifacts, star maps, and technology beyond human comprehension. Each object seemed to hum with energy, reacting to their presence. Ravi reached out, cautiously touching one of the devices. A projection appeared, a star system, thousands of years old, showing planets, moons, and civilizations that had long since vanished. These records, the ship preserves history, entire civilizations, and it expects us to understand them. Jonas frowned. Preserve or control? We need to remember. This is still alien. It may be guiding us, but we must be careful not to lose ourselves in its designs. Laura nodded. We proceed carefully, learn as much as we can, and remember our humanity. That is what will see us through. The ship seemed to respond. The lights pulsed gently, almost like approval, and the corridor ahead opened wider, revealing an area that glowed with energy. At its center was a platform rising slowly, like an elevator. As they stepped onto it, the floor lifted, carrying them upward. The walls around them shimmered, revealing the universe outside in ways that made their heads spin. Stars and nebulae bent and twisted as if reality itself had been reshaped. This is beyond anything we've seen, Mira whispered, gripping the rail. It's showing us everything. Ravi's voice trembled with excitement. The ship is alive, but it is also teaching us. We are learning at a speed no human has ever known. Ilara held on to her resolve. We must remember who we are. No matter how much this ship shows us, we carry humanity with us. That is our strength. The platform stopped. The doors ahead opened to a chamber bathed in golden light, walls covered with symbols that seemed to dance. At the center, a console awaited, its surface reflecting their faces. The ship had brought them here intentionally for the next part of the trial. Ilara took a deep breath. We face this together. Whatever comes, we do not turn back. And so, the human crew of the Odyssey continued their journey, venturing deeper into the heart of the ancient ship. They had faced fear, illusions, and incomprehensible technology and survived. But the ship's trials had only begun. Outside, the stars stretched endlessly. Humanity's explorers were alone, far from home. Aboard a vessel older than any known civilization, moving into the unknown. Somewhere within the ancient ship, the Guardian observed, recording their actions, preparing the next challenge. Humanity had shown courage, intelligence, and unity, but would it be enough to survive the trials to come? The awakening had begun, and the universe waited to see what humans could achieve. The humans stepped cautiously into the golden-lit chamber, their reflections shimmering on the smooth, polished floor. The air was warm, almost comforting, yet it carried a quiet weight. They had survived the first trials, confronted illusions that tested their fears, and had shown courage and unity. But each of them knew the ship had more challenges ahead. Captain Ilara Voss surveyed the room. Stay alert. The first test was only the beginning. The ship will keep testing us until it decides if we're worthy. Ravi Sethi knelt near one of the glowing symbols on the wall. These symbols, they're like windows into the past. Look, here this shows entire civilizations, and they're long gone. The ship records everything it encounters, and it seems to judge based on how beings respond to it. Lieutenant Mira Hashin reached out to touch the console at the center of the chamber. It's like a library, but alive. It adapts to us, and somehow, it wants to see what we are capable of. Jonas Kor frowned, scanning the edges of the room. Adaptation or manipulation? We need to remember, we're humans, not puppets. The ship can test, but it shouldn't control us. Ilara nodded. Exactly. We use its challenges to learn, not to lose ourselves. That is our strength. As they explored, a hidden door slid open along the chamber's far wall. Beyond it was a vast hall filled with strange machinery, star maps, and glowing orbs suspended in the air. Each orb contained a miniature projection of a world, some teeming with life, others barren and silent. Ravi's eyes widened. These are real civilizations. The ship has preserved them all. Some may have existed millions of years ago. It's a living archive. Mira ran her fingers over one orb. The projection shifted, showing towering cities and creatures unlike any human had imagined. The ship isn't just testing us, she said softly. It's sharing its history. It wants us to understand, to learn, maybe even to continue its legacy. Suddenly, the orbs pulsed, and the room transformed. The walls shimmered, and the humans were no longer standing on a solid floor. Instead, they floated above a vast alien landscape, the orbs now massive structures rising around them like towers. A soft hum resonated through the air. A voice filled their minds, calm and measured. You have seen the past. To proceed, you must navigate the present and understand the consequences of choice. Each decision echoes through time. Ilara looked at her crew. We follow the path together, step by step. The landscape shifted again, revealing paths that twisted and turned in impossible angles. Strange creatures roamed, observing but not attacking. The humans had to move carefully. Avoiding obstacles and solving puzzles built into the very terrain, Jonas led the way. Using his navigation skills to guide them, follow the patterns. Watch the signs. The ship rewards observation, not force. Hours passed, or perhaps days. Time was different here, bending in ways the humans could barely comprehend. Each puzzle tested their intelligence, teamwork, and moral judgment. At one point, they had to decide whether to save a projection of a civilization in danger. Knowing that failure could trap them in an endless illusion, Mira's hands shook as she made the choice. We save them. We can't ignore life, even if it isn't real, because our actions show who we truly are. The landscape shifted again, and the projection of the civilization was restored. The orbs glowed brighter, and the hum became a song of approval. Ravi said softly, the ship is teaching us more than knowledge. It's teaching us responsibility. That even when life seems small or distant, our choices matter. Ilara's mind was focused. Every step we take, we must remain human. Courage, intelligence, empathy. That is what the ship values. The next trial arrived unexpectedly. A shimmering barrier appeared ahead, with strange symbols floating in midair. To pass, the humans had to arrange the symbols into a sequence. But the symbols were not just shapes. They represented concepts: trust, sacrifice, logic, courage, and hope. Jonas frowned. This isn't a technical puzzle. It's moral. We need to understand what each symbol means and how they connect. If we fail, Ravi's voice was steady, we don't fail. We act together, using our experience, our instincts, and our humanity. Working as one, they arranged the symbols, discussing each choice carefully. Each step of the sequence caused the barrier to shimmer, testing their understanding. Finally, the last symbol clicked into place, and the barrier dissolved. Revealing another chamber filled with star maps and alien artifacts, the humans paused, catching their breath. Every challenge is harder than the last, Mira said. But we've grown, stronger, smarter. Ilara nodded. And we must keep growing. The ship has more to show us. The Guardian will not stop until it understands who we are. Inside the next chamber, they discovered a strange console projecting a galaxy older than any human had studied. Planets rotated slowly, some inhabited, some barren. Lines connected stars and worlds, forming patterns that hinted at civilizations rising and falling across millennia. Ravi's eyes shone with wonder. This is incredible. The ship records the life of galaxies. It preserves what others have lost, and it shows us the consequences of choices over time. Empires rise and fall. Species flourish or vanish, and the Guardian watches all of it. Mira looked closer at one projection. It's beautiful and terrifying. We are so small in comparison. But the ship, it believes we can understand, maybe even contribute. Jonas rubbed his temples. Or maybe it's testing whether we can survive knowing this. The weight of knowledge is heavy. If we fail to act wisely, we may become trapped, lost in the ship's archives forever. Ilara took a deep breath. We face this together. Knowledge is powerful, but it is only dangerous if we forget who we are. We remain human. That is our guide. The ship responded. The holographic stars pulsed brighter, and a pathway opened above the console. A staircase of light stretched upward, seemingly into the heart of the ship. Ravi whispered, "It's leading us further. Deeper than anyone has gone? What we see next may change everything we know about the universe." The humans ascended the glowing staircase, their minds racing. Each step was heavy with the weight of discovery, responsibility, and curiosity. The air seemed alive, resonating with the pulse of the ship itself. At the top, they entered a chamber unlike any before. The walls were transparent, revealing the stars beyond. Strange energy conduits crisscrossed the room, glowing with flowing power. At the center, a pedestal rose, holding a small device that radiated warmth and light. A voice filled their minds, clear and commanding. "You have learned, you have faced fear, you have acted with wisdom, but the greatest test is yet to come. Knowledge alone is not enough. Courage, empathy, sacrifice, and understanding must guide you further." Lara's heart beat rapidly. "We are ready. Whatever comes, we face it as one. Together," the Guardian observed, noting every action, every choice, every thought. Humanity had proven its resilience, intelligence, and unity. But the final trials, the ones that would truly define their worth, were still ahead, and as the chamber hummed with energy, projecting images of ancient civilizations and lost worlds, the humans understood a truth. The ship was not just a vessel. It was a teacher, a judge, and a guide. The fate of those who entered depended not only on strength and skill, but on the heart of humanity itself. The journey continued. The crew of the Odyssey was far from home, but they carried the spirit of humanity into the unknown. The trials had begun, and the secrets of the ancient ship were slowly unfolding. The Guardian watched patiently, waiting to see if humans could rise to meet the ultimate challenge, and whether the species that had once looked up at the stars with wonder could now step forward and claim its place among the stars. The chamber before the crew was immense, its walls stretching beyond what their eyes could see. The air shimmered with energy, casting soft golden light across the room. At the center, a platform floated, surrounded by countless doors, each glowing faintly with alien symbols. Captain Ilara Voss stepped forward, her eyes scanning the array. This is the final stage. I can feel it. The ship is offering us a choice. Every path leads somewhere, but not all paths lead to return. Dr. Ravi Sethi knelt, examining the symbols. Each door represents a destiny, but I can't read the patterns completely. They aren't just physical paths. They are tests, decisions, futures. This is unlike anything we've faced. Lieutenant Myra Hashin swallowed hard. Do we know what we're choosing? Or are we guessing? Jonas Kor, as always logical, frowned. I don't think we can know entirely. The ship is asking us to make the choice from our hearts. What do we value? Knowledge, safety, duty, maybe even sacrifice. Lara's gaze swept across the doors. We do this together. No one goes alone unless the path requires it. We discuss, we weigh, we act. That is how we survive. Humanity survives through unity.
Wow.
They approached the nearest door. As they touched it, visions filled their minds, planets teeming with life, civilizations flourishing, wars avoided, but also warnings of mistakes that could destroy everything. Each vision tested their resolve, forcing them to weigh consequences carefully. Ravi whispered, "The ship shows possibilities. Every door, every choice, echoes through time and space. This is the ultimate test of our judgment." Mira stepped closer to another door. "And our courage. Can we choose the right path, even if it means risking ourselves?" Suddenly, the platform shivered. The voice of the Guardian filled their minds, clear and powerful. "Travelers, your time of preparation is complete. Choose wisely, for every decision reflects the heart of your species. Courage, wisdom, empathy, and sacrifice. All are required." Lara closed her eyes briefly. "We face this together for the sake of knowledge, for the sake of life. Humanity does not turn from challenge. We rise to meet it." They spread out to examine the doors, each drawn to a different path. Some doors projected visions of isolation, where knowledge and power awaited only those willing to leave everything behind. Others showed images of unity and leadership, paths that would allow them to carry the ship's knowledge to their people, but demanded selflessness and courage. Jonas said, "Some paths are safe for ourselves, but meaningless for humanity. Others are dangerous, but meaningful. Which do we value more?" Ravi looked at the glowing symbols, sensing their weight. "I believe the ship rewards sacrifice and unity. Those who only seek personal gain, they cannot pass." Mira nodded. "Then we choose together, keeping our purpose clear. Knowledge alone is not enough. Humanity must endure, and that requires heart as well as mind." The first door they approached glowed brighter as Alara touched it. The crew was pulled forward into a new space chamber filled with floating platforms above a vast expanse of light. The platforms moved slowly, shifting as if alive. To cross, they had to step carefully, trusting one another's timing. "Misstep could mean falling into the endless void," Ravi whispered. "It's a test of trust. We must rely on each other completely. That is the only way forward." One by one, they stepped onto the platforms. The gaps seemed wider than they should be, the light below dizzying, but together they moved. Each step required communication, observation, and courage. When one faltered, another reached out to stabilize them. Alara led the way, her voice steady. "We are humans. We do not leave anyone behind. That is our strength." Myra's hands shook as she crossed a particularly wide gap, but Jonas's steady grip guided her. "Focus on the path. Trust your crew," he said. "We succeed together." Finally, they reached the end of the platform sequence. The chamber transformed, revealing a central pedestal holding a glowing device. As they approached, the Guardian's voice filled their minds again. "You have shown courage, unity, and empathy. But the final choice awaits. Will you take knowledge for yourselves, or will you carry it for the benefit of your people?" Alara stepped forward. "We take it for humanity. Knowledge is not power for one, it is strength for all," Ravi added. "We are explorers, yes, but our responsibility is to others. That is our calling." Mira nodded, voice soft but firm. "We face risk because it matters. This is our test of selflessness," the pedestal responded. Light flowed upward, surrounding them in a warm glow. They felt a surge of understanding, images of distant worlds, civilizations, and star systems filling their minds. The ship was sharing everything it had preserved, rewarding them for their choices and unity. Suddenly, the chamber shifted again. The walls dissolved, revealing a view of countless stars stretching into infinity. The platform beneath them lifted slowly, carrying them to the outer edge of the ship. Outside, the void seemed alive, shimmering with possibilities. The Guardian's voice spoke one final time. "You have chosen wisely. You have shown the heart of your species. Knowledge, courage, unity, and empathy. All have guided you. The path is now open, and the future awaits. Alara exhaled deeply, her crew beside her. We did it, together. Ravi smiled, still amazed. The ship. It tested everything about us. Not just skill, but heart. And it has given us more than we ever imagined. Mira looked toward the stars. And yet it remains mysterious. So much we still do not understand. But we survived. That counts for something. Jonas added, it is proof that humanity can rise to challenges beyond comprehension. We face the unknown, and we do not falter. That is our legacy. The pedestal's light dimmed, and the doors behind them opened once more. Beyond lay corridors leading toward the heart of the ship, deeper than they had traveled before. But now, the crew felt stronger, braver, and more united. They had faced trials that tested their fears, their minds, and their hearts. Alara spoke quietly to her crew. We go forward. We do not know what awaits, but we are ready. Together, we are more than explorers. We are humans, and that is something even the stars must respect. As they moved deeper, the ship seemed to respond. The air vibrated with energy, and the walls pulsed gently, almost like a heartbeat. The humans felt a profound connection, not just with the vessel, but with the universe itself. Ravi whispered, it's as if the ship recognizes our potential. We are small in the cosmos, but it believes we can rise, Mira added, and we will. Must. We carry humanity with us, and we cannot fail. The final corridor led them to a chamber unlike any other. A massive window overlooked the void, revealing a distant galaxy swirling with light and shadow. The energy of the ship flowed around them, filling the room with warmth and clarity in the center. A console projected a message and symbols the crew now began to understand, not just words, but meaning. The ship communicated through thought, guiding, teaching, and testing. Alara stepped forward. We are ready. Whatever comes next, we face it as humans, together. We accept responsibility, not just for ourselves, but for all life we may touch. The Guardian observed silently, its vast intelligence weighing their actions, their choices, and their hearts. Humanity had passed the greatest test yet, the choice to act not for self, but for others. And that decision would determine their destiny. The chamber glowed brighter, and the doors ahead opened. Beyond lay the final path toward the deepest secrets of the ancient ship. But the humans knew this. The journey had changed them. They were no longer simply explorers. They were carriers of knowledge, bearers of courage, and representatives of humanity's enduring spirit. Outside, the stars stretched endlessly. The ship moved through the void, carrying its human passengers toward a future filled with wonder, danger, and possibility. The final test had been faced, and the choice had been made. The question remained, what would they discover next? And could they survive the ultimate truths hidden within the heart of the ancient vessel? One thing was certain. Humanity had risen to meet the challenge, proving that courage, unity, and selflessness were more powerful than any obstacle, no matter how ancient or alien. The humans stepped into the final chamber of the ancient ship, and a silence unlike any they had experienced filled the space. The air was thick with energy, and the walls pulsed gently, like the heartbeat of the vessel itself. The room stretched infinitely in all directions. A place that seemed to exist outside of time and space, Captain Alara Voss led the crew forward, eyes taking in the surreal landscape. This is it, she whispered. Whatever the ship has kept hidden, we are about to see it. Be ready for anything. Dr. Ravi Sethi felt a thrill he could not contain. The ship? It has preserved knowledge beyond imagination. Every civilization, every discovery, it's all here. And now, it's offering it to us. Lieutenant Mira Hashin nodded, though her hands trembled slightly. We have passed every test. But this feels different. Almost like a choice is waiting for us, not a challenge. Jonas Kor scanned the chamber. The Guardian has shown us courage, unity, and empathy. I think it wants to know what we will do with that knowledge, how we will carry it forward. At the center of the chamber, a platform rose slowly. On it rested a small, glowing orb, radiating warmth and light that filled the room. The Guardian's voice echoed in their minds, calm and deep. "Travelers, you have proven yourselves worthy. You have faced fear, illusions, and moral trials. You have shown courage, wisdom, and unity. Now, the choice is yours. Will you carry this knowledge beyond, or remain within the ship?" Alara stepped forward first. "We carry it. Knowledge is not meant to be hoarded. It is meant to guide, to help, to inspire. We are humanity. We rise together." Ravi's mind echoed her sentiment. The ship's wisdom must reach our people. Humanity must learn and grow from what we have discovered. That is our responsibility, Myra added, and we must do it safely with care. We cannot take knowledge lightly. Every action has consequences. The orb pulsed brighter, responding to their resolve. Images filled their minds' distant planets, civilizations on the brink of collapse, and worlds where knowledge and courage had changed everything. The ship was showing them not just what it had preserved, but the weight of responsibility in sharing it. Suddenly, the chamber shifted. The walls dissolved into transparent light, revealing the vast universe outside. Stars stretched infinitely, galaxies swirled, and nebulae glowed with colors beyond imagination. The humans felt small. The ship's energy made them feel connected to everything. The Guardian spoke one final time. "You have chosen wisely. Your courage, unity, and selflessness have proven the heart of your species. The knowledge you carry is vast. Use it to inspire, to guide, to protect. And remember, the universe watches those who act with wisdom." Alara reached for the orb, feeling warmth flow into her hands. The energy coursed through her, illuminating her mind with visions of technology, culture, and understanding far beyond human comprehension. Ravi and Mira joined her, each receiving the same flood of knowledge. Even Jonas, who had always been cautious, felt the surge of clarity and responsibility. For a moment, the chamber seemed to hum with life, and the crew felt as though they had become part of the ship itself. They understood its purpose, not just preservation, but guidance. The ancient vessel had chosen them as humans capable of carrying its legacy into the stars. But then, a new realization struck them. The ship was preparing to move into a dimension beyond ordinary space. The paths home had vanished. The Odyssey and human space were now distant points they might never reach. Mira whispered, We might never return." Alara's expression was calm but resolute. "Then we leave a legacy. Humanity may not see us again, but our actions, our knowledge, will guide those who come after. That is our purpose." Ravi nodded, awe in his eyes. "We are the bridge between the past and the future. The ship entrusted us with this knowledge for a reason. We cannot fail." The orb expanded, enveloping the humans in golden light. The chamber dissolved, replaced by a corridor of shimmering energy. The ship moved gracefully, as if it sensed the importance of its passengers. Outside, stars bent and twisted, showing paths across the cosmos that no human had traveled before. They passed worlds in ruins and worlds thriving. Civilizations extinct and civilizations on the rise. The ship allowed them to witness the flow of life across galaxies, teaching them the lessons of creation, survival, and responsibility. Alara's mind raced with understanding. This is everything. The ship is more than a vessel. It is a guardian, a teacher, a guide, and we are now part of that mission. Ravi's voice broke the silence. Imagine what humanity can do with even a fraction of this knowledge. Medicine, technology, energy, peace. The ship is offering us a chance to change the future. Mira smiled softly. And we must use it wisely. That is the true test. Courage and intelligence are meaningless if not paired with wisdom and responsibility. The ship slowed, hovering near a cluster of stars unlike any the humans had ever seen. The light of the stars reflected on their faces as the Guardian's voice spoke one last time. "You carry the legacy of countless civilizations. Protect it. Teach it, share it, and when your time comes, those who follow will rise to meet the stars. Alara felt a tear slip down her cheek. We will not fail. Humanity will rise. Ravi reached out, touching her shoulder. We have seen what is possible, and we will carry it forward no matter the distance or the dangers. Mira looked toward the stars, determination in her eyes. Even if no one sees us again, our actions will shape the future. That is enough. Jonas nodded, steady and calm. Then let us move forward. We are not explorers anymore. We are guardians, students, and teachers. We carry the flame of knowledge. Ship glowed brighter, its energy merging with the humans. They felt a connection stronger than anything before, understanding their place in the universe. They were small. Their courage and unity made them powerful in ways the stars themselves seemed to recognize as they prepared to leave. The ship projected an image of the Odyssey, floating in its last known orbit. The human crew's minds connected with the memory of home, their hearts anchored to the world they had come from. But the path forward was clear. Their destiny lay among the stars, beyond the reach of ordinary navigation, carrying the legacy of life, knowledge, and courage to the cosmos. The humans stepped forward together, leaving behind the chamber, the ship's interior, and the past as they ascended into the unknown. They were changed, transformed by the trials, the knowledge, and the choices they had made. Outside, the ship moved like a living entity, carrying its passengers through the void. The stars stretched infinitely, showing paths of light that no human could have imagined. The crew knew they were far from home, and perhaps humanity would never see them again. But they also knew this. The spirit of humanity had been recognized, tested, and strengthened. Alara spoke softly. Her voice carried in their shared thoughts. We are humans. We have faced the impossible, and we have risen. Wherever we go, whatever comes, humanity will endure, Ravi added, and one day, others will follow. They will learn, grow, and continue what we have begun. Our journey is not the end. It is the beginning. Mira smiled, her heart full of wonder. We may be alone now, but we are never truly alone. Humanity lives in every choice we make, in every action guided by courage and unity. Jonas's steady voice concluded, Then let us go forward, carrying the knowledge, the hope, and the spirit of humanity. The stars are waiting, and we are ready. The ship glided through the void, carrying the humans toward endless possibilities. They had left the familiar behind, stepping into the vast unknown, but they were not afraid. They were humans, and humanity never gives up, the Guardian observed, its vast consciousness calm and approving. Humanity had risen to meet its trials, proving that even in the face of the unknown, courage, unity, and wisdom could shine brighter than the stars themselves, and somewhere in the distant reaches of space. The legacy of the human crew of the Odyssey began a journey that would inspire generations, guide civilizations, and remind the universe that humanity, when united and brave, could face any challenge and endure. The stars stretched endlessly, and the humans continued their voyage, not knowing what awaited, but carrying with them the greatest gift of all, the heart, courage, and spirit of humanity. The journey had ended, yet it was only the beginning.